Hello little hoes, my name is Kristen and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be one that I did last year and really enjoyed, so wanted to repeat it this year. That is my top favorite plants for the past year. And these, again, do not have to be ones that I necessarily purchased this year, but just ones that have impressed me this year. I will do a couple of honorable mentions, Casey's favorite plant, and then a countdown top 3. Let me start with number 1 honorable mention. So this is Euphorbia leukonura, and I got this, hi mama. I got this as just a sort of hitchhike seedling in another plant at work. I took it home and have been really enjoying the heck out of it this year. As it matures, it tends to get more of like a square stem to it, and it does fade out with the leaves. They don't have this silver stripes to them as it is mature, but in its juvenile form, I am really enjoying it. I love the silver and the red petioles on it. Super easy, as most Euphorbia are. I do have to water it probably weekly right now, and will probably have to do it more so in the summer. It tends to be a little bit dramatic and tell you when it needs water by wilting. Mama, can you not? What you want? What you want, little needy kitty? My second honorable mention plant is one that I got from New Life Tropicals this summer, fall, and it is the lime fiddle philodendron. Now, I am a sucker for weird shaped leaves like this. I just love them in philodendron as opposed to, say, like the pink princess leaf shape. I don't particularly care about. That more jagged edge really gets me, and especially if it is in combination with variegation. And this guy does have some interesting splashing going on and sort of contorts and puckers the leaves slightly. And it hasn't grown tremendously, but I feel that once I do move it over to soil, it will start to take off, and especially this spring. Very happy every time I look at this plant and just how well it did in transport and recovering from that time. It's a very tough plant. It's going to be a very vigorous one once it gets more mature. Now, Casey's favorite plant, which he likes to comment on quite frequently, is the Alocasia Zebrina Reticulata. Now, I did have to stake it and tie it up because it's floppy. It fell off a ledge and took most of the soil with it. So I'm hoping it doesn't shock it tremendously, but this is one I got last year from the People's Plants when that company was still a thing. Do you remember all that drama? It has been very, very slow. I did start out last winter with just 1 leaf, but now it has 4 total. So it did do some growing over the spring and summer. And I'm very hopeful that it will start to put out even more growth come this spring. And hopefully I can get it to stop like flopping quite so much. I think what Casey loves about it, and I appreciate quite a bit too, the stems and this leaf pattern. And it's a little bit hard to see when it's lit from the front, but it has some really cool variegation, almost like a window pane, like a mosaic window. And speaking of mosaic, he also loves the Calathea mosaica. That's another one of his favorites. I just didn't bring it in to show you, but This is Casey's favorite. This is my third favorite plant of 2020, and I can't believe I am saying it, but I actually really love this begonia. This was one that I got as a single leaf cutting from my work, and I planted it in my terrarium, not really thinking it would do a whole lot, or even, quite frankly, get this big, but it's gotten massive. This, I think, is going to be a Begonia Berkeley. I'm not 100%, but I'm confident that that's the correct species. And it has this amazing velvety sheen to it. And what I am most excited about is that red mottled underside. Now, you guys know I am not a begonia fan, but it surprised me too, and I can't deny it. I look at this all the time and am impressed, so I just had to add it to my favorites list. So moving on to my second favorite plant of the year, and this is very difficult for me because it's gone back and forth between being my favorite to being my second favorite, but I think I'm going to have to put it at number 2 just because it hasn't grown tremendously fast, and it is starting to put out quite a bit of growth recently. Still, it's taking a little time to get it established. My number 2 is Syngonium Windlandii. Pretty sure I got this from Peace, Love, and Happiness Club some months ago. It was a pretty small start, but it has been churning out a fair amount of new growth. I've been fertilizing somewhat regularly. I just am in love with that silver veining. The only reason my Reticulata, can you guys see that, didn't make number 1 is because it did lose that silver vein down the center as it grew, and I really appreciate that contrast that this one creates, more so than just that plain blackish green. I love this plant, but this sneaks up there as number 2 for my favorites. Now for my number 1 favorite plant of 2020. This was another one that I got from New Life Tropicals. It also did very well in transport. There wasn't a whole lot of recovery time before it started to grow again. And grow it has. Honestly, every few weeks now, it seems to be putting out a new leaf, and each one is more spectacular than the next, and I love seeing it go from this buttery white yellow to more minty and then finally green. And I think you guys might know what I'm talking about by now. That is the Florida Ghost, and I have this up on my plant rack right across from a couch that I do my video editing, and I just spend time watching videos. And I can't tell you the amount of times I've just looked up to appreciate this plant. It is very similar to last year's favorite plant, which is the Philodendron squamiferum, in the fact that the leaf shape is quite similar and the petioles are red. It's even more vibrant as the leaves start to emerge, brand new ones, and then it fades a little bit to more of a burgundy color. They are slightly textured, but more bumpy than furry. And I will try and spin this. This is what it looks like when it first comes out, and then it goes a little bit more minty before turning green. I really enjoy this coloration, and it just is so vibrant. I have mine under a grow light, which I think helps contribute to it coming out so bright and pale. This is one I would highly, highly recommend. I am so excited to see how big it will get this year. It is right next to my humidifier too, which I'm sure helps quite a bit with keeping it going. I think the next step will be to pot it up in soil. I will have to stake it at some point because this leaf is a bit smaller than the previous two. Those are my favorite plants of 2020. I would love to hear what your guys's are, so please comment below, or if you're another YouTuber, feel free to make a video on that. I would love to see it. As always, stay safe, healthy, and sane. I will talk to y'all soon. Goodbye.